Absolutely. Well, the trip by China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is all about strengthening ties between China and Africa. Now, there are a number of key areas of cooperation that both sides will be looking at. Among them is the fight against COVID-19. Now, last year's Beijing Africa Summit on the solidarity against COVID-19 provides a framework for this type of cooperation. Here we're talking about dispatching medical teams to the most vulnerable African countries to assist them. We're also talking about providing medical equipment to African companies in the fight against COVID-19. Another key area of focus is accelerating Africa's economic growth, which was severely dented by the pandemic. Now, one of the things that the two sides will be looking at, we've seen China, for example, asking a lot of its companies to invest more in Africa and to help accelerate industrialization. Now, there are a lot of projects being undertaken by Chinese companies across the entire African continent. Now, all these projects tie in towards the Belt and Road Initiative, so we expect them to touch on that as well. Now, another key area of focus will be the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. 70% of the outcomes from the 2018 FOCAC Summit have already been achieved, which is quite incredible if you come to think about it. So we expect them to touch on that. We expect them to look forward to, or rather set up another date for which we expect to be another date for another meeting for later this year, when they can then sit down and discuss how they can achieve the remaining targets that had been set up in 2018 before the next FOCAC Summit. Back to you.
Robert, tell us more about the remainder of Wang Yi's schedule there in Africa. What is he hoping to achieve on this trip?
Absolutely. Well, from Botswana, we expect he travels to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, he then goes on to Seychelles. Top of the agenda will be the fight against COVID-19 and what sort of assistance China can provide to help alleviate the situation amongst African countries. Crucially, one thing that I left out is vaccinations. We expect that to be a leading topic amongst the countries he's visiting as well, because we know that China has already come up with a vaccine and has several vaccines that are waiting permission from the regulation authority back in China. Now, these vaccines are affordable and can survive well under African conditions, the heat and so on and so forth. So we expect that to be a topic, and affordability as well is going to be crucial. Economic growth, like I mentioned, how to accelerate economic growth. There's a number of projects ongoing being undertaken by Chinese companies towards the Belt and Road Initiative. This is going to be very, very important, because once those projects are completed, they will tie into the bigger picture on Belt and Road cooperation between China and Africa. This is going to open up a lot of areas within the continent that were previously inaccessible and provide economic growth for those areas as well. So both sides expect to win. Plus, we also expect them to touch on the people-to-people exchanges that have been going on between China and Africa for a number of years now. So all this and a number of other areas of cooperation will be on the agenda when both sides meet in the coming days.